First, the Super Bowl just flashed a massive sell signal, and we've actually seen it before.
Then Ferrari just unveiled their iCar, but with no touchscreen.
And Grubhub is burning millions to try to make food delivery free forever.
What a T-Boy, Jack. Let's hit the mix. This is Nick.
This is Jack.
Welcome back. It is Tuesday, T-Boy Tuesday, February 10th, and today's pod is the best one yet. This is a T-Boy.
The top 3 pop business news stories you need to know today.
Now, besties, we said welcome back because everyone has miraculously recovered from the Super Bowl flu, it appears, Jack.
Yeah, an estimated 26 million people called in sick yesterday because something was going around.
So a happy back to work Tuesday for all those who celebrate. We're glad you're feeling better. Your secret's safe with us.
We were working yesterday. Just saying.
Just saying.
Let's get to the stories.
For our first story, Super Bowl commercials. We're looking at our favorite,
which was the perfect collab.
The overall theme,
which was artificial intelligence.
And one ominous warning.
When an industry has its Super Bowl moment, it's actually a curse.
Super Bowl or Super Bubble. But Yetis, let's start the story with the double B, Bad Bunny. Already the #1 stream musician of 2025. He was putting up Taylor Swift numbers.
Actually, he was beating Taylor Swift. And despite starting from that really high base, streams of Bad Bunny's music rose by 470% the day after the Super Bowl.
Which led to the top trending search on Google Monday. What was it, Jack?
How to speak Spanish.
That's right. Bad Bunny's Hollywood-level halftime show was the biggest winner of Super Bowl 60.
But guess who's riding Bad Bunny's coattails on Monday?
I'm sorry, Jack. Is that Elf Beauty? And I'm sorry, Jack, is that Duolingo?
Yes, a beauty brand and a translation app together are piggybacking on Bad Bunny right now.
And we should point out, Yetis, that does seem surprising, but not to us. We did interview both their CEOs on this podcast for you just last year.
All right, let's talk about the commercial, though. In the commercial for Elf Beauty, Melissa McCarthy stars, and she's trying to learn Spanish.
Basically, Jack, she's trying to go from a Karen to a cariño, if you know what I mean.
But according to the ad, applying Elf Beauty lip oil helps you roll the R's.
And here's the key. Elf also partnered with Duolingo for this commercial.
Elf is offering all their rewards members 1 month of free Spanish language learning on Duolingo.
Add it all up, a clever collab commercial. Similar target audience. They split the costs of the promotion and they capitalize on a post-Super Bowl interest in Espanol.
Well done to Elf Beauty and Duolingo. But overall, there was a different theme to this Super Bowl when it comes to the commercials.
See, Jack.
It was artificial intelligence.
Because get this, 15 out of the 66 ads in that Super Bowl featured AI, baby.
Amazon hired Chris Hemsworth to showcase Alexa Plus. Meta hired Marshawn Lynch to say, "Hey, Meta," like a half dozen times.
And Gemini hired a mom and a toddler to reimagine the nursery using AI and causing all of us to weep.
Microsoft's Copilot had an ad. OpenAI had an ad. Claude had 2 ads that we covered last week. Oh, and if you weren't using the ad to promote AI, you were using AI to produce the ad.
That's right, because using AI, Svedka resurrected their Fembot mascot from 2005 to promote their famous vodka.
Add it all up, and according to Adweek, 23% of the Super Bowl commercials this year featured AI in some way or another.
Oh, but pause the pod. Here's the wildest. One company even dropped $70 million to buy the website AI.com.
Which is now the answer to a great new trivia question. What is the most expensive website domain ever purchased? It's AI.com.
That's right. But after that ad in the Super Bowl, so many people flooded the site that it crashed, including us. We were there too.
Although, isn't .ai an option? Like, what about AI.ai?
That would have cost $80 million, Jack, and you can still smell the burning cash from the catastrophe.
So all of this sounds like progress for AI. What better measurement of mainstream relevance than Super Bowl commercials?
But it turns out history actually suggests the opposite.
History suggests there's a Super Bowl commercial stock market curse.
Super Bowl, Super Bubble.
You're talking about Woody's butt in their commercial? Because I saw that. That was pretty cool.
So, Jack, feels like we're approaching a takeaway moment. Oh, ¿cuáles los takeaway per todos los amigos? T-boy.
Flooding the Super Bowl is actually a sell signal.
Yetis, it looks like 2026 was the AI Bowl. Artificial intelligence had its big Super Bowl moment.
And that reminds us of 2022, which was dubbed the Crypto Bowl. Remember when Matt Damon, Larry David, and Coinbase had that QR code bouncing around the screen?
Well, Jack, 2 decades further back reminds us of the Internet Bowl of 2000. Every commercial was of the new internet companies.
And therein reveals the Super Bowl curse. When an industry takes over the Super Bowl's commercials, a downturn tends to follow.
Right, because that crypto bull was preceded by a crypto winter and FTX bankruptcy.
And the internet bull preceded the vicious dot-com bubble.
So besties, AI companies, they've spent so much money building out AI models and huge data centers worldwide.
And the Super Bowl commercial splurge we all just witnessed reveals how urgently they all feel they need to start making money right now.
Yeah, it is. When an industry takes over a Super Bowl with commercials, not a good sign. The Super Bowl could be a sell signal. For our second story, Ferrari just unveiled its first ever electric car, the last major car brand to do it.
And Ferrari's electric car is designed by Apple's Jony Ive. But this vehicle is shockingly anti-iPhone.
Now, besties, as fans of the pod, you know that in our weekly show, The Best Idea Yet, we did a whole episode on Ferrari. Remember that gem, Jack?
Well, it's funny. You read the biography of the founder before we did the episode. And that's why we sprinkled the whole episode with so many quotes from Enzo Ferrari.
Okay, my favorite Enzo Ferrari quote is, "The customer is not always right."
I thought he went further than that and said the customer's usually wrong.
Yeah, there were some Italian profanities I left out of that one. But our favorite quote from Enzo Ferrari, founder of Ferrari, is, "I don't sell cars, I sell engines. I throw the car in for free."
He invented the V12 engine. So this guy loves the and the whole feel and the vibration of it all.
Which is why Enzo Ferrari would have hated electric vehicles.
And that's why it took this long. Ferrari is the last car company to go electric.
Maserati did it in 2023. Porsche did it back in 2019.
And now Ferrari, because last week the team flew to San Francisco to unveil the Luce, the Ferrari electric vehicle.
That's right. It means light in Italian, and it was actually designed by the iPhone designer.
6 years after he left Apple, 10 years after Apple was supposed to give us the iCar, Jony Ive created the entire interior of this Ferrari.
This thing is so stunning, we actually noticed it in Vogue before we noticed it in CNBC.
Now, the unveil last week only showed us the interior. We still don't know what the outside of it looks like.
Which means all the focus was on the controls, the screens, the UX, user experience, as the techies would call it.
And since Apple never ended up making that iCar, this Ferrari, designed by the Apple guy, is the closest we'll ever get to seeing the Apple car.
Besties, pump the brakes for a sec. The first electric Ferrari is the opposite of every other electric car out there.
Because it's got knobs, switches, and buttons galore.
That's right, Yetis. This Ferrari EV is more BlackBerry than iPhone. Up and down switches like an airplane cockpit.
Most electric cars are inspired by the iPhone. All screen, no buttons, sleek, different than gas guzzlers, and futuristic.
I mean, there's not a knob in my Tesla. Jack's got an electric vehicle too. There isn't even a key. It just like turns on with your phone when you walk toward it.
Sometimes that's great, sometimes it's annoying.
Rivian, come on, man, open that door.
But this Ferrari electric car isn't like other electric cars. It's got tactical switches, physical buttons. It is a festival of controls.
You want the heat seat on, Jack? You gotta pull a switch. The AC, you gotta flip a button. The clock, it's an old school 12-hour chronograph.
You can't control the air vents with a swipe of the finger. There's a big aluminum handle you gotta twist with your actual hand.
I mean, yes, there is one center console screen like all the other cars have out there. You gotta have that these days.
But it's actually got buttons on it, unlike Nick's Tesla.
As the iPhone designer put it, just because the power source is electric, why does the car have to be so digital?
He actually tossed shade at Tesla and said other EV makers are being bizarre and lazy by just emulating the iPhone on everything.
His point, it's ironic, but the more we see self-driving, the more we're going to miss actual driving.
So instead of making a car that looks like our technology, he's making technology look more like the car.
So Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Ferrari?
Screens are the new beepers.
Yetis, sometimes tech visually defines an era, but then just gets left in the past.
Like the beeper on your dad's belt in the 90s.
You still hear that thing. Well, Jack and I are seeing early signs now that the screen is going to go the way of the beeper, the fax, the CD player.
Screens are going to go away. Just look at Snap and Meta's glasses. There's no screen. It's designed for a future where it's all built into the lens.
Jack, Sam Altman's first AI device, it's rumored to have no screen, just a silver orb that listens, sees, and speaks to you.
From laptops to TVs to phones, we humans spend 7 hours on screens or more every day, and we have no choice but to do that.
But Ferrari's surprise anti-screen electric car is a reminder of an early pivot we think is happening right now.
This is the beginning of the end of screens.
One sec, Jack. The beeper.
Now, a quick word from our sponsor.
For our third and final story, Grubhub just announced at the Super Bowl it's eliminating delivery fees and service fees.
It's the most popular thing out of the delivery industry since ever, but it's also the most perilous.
Yes, we heard you, big tech. AI is going to make our lives better. We get the message.
How about making our lives more affordable?
Well, that's what Grubhub is targeting. Although we should point out Grubhub is kind of the Hufflepuff house of food delivery, right, Jack?
Yeah, they're way behind Uber and DoorDash, if that's what you're saying.
Can you whip up some numbers for context for us, please?
Grubhub has just 8 million users compared to DoorDash's 50 million and Uber Eats' is 21 million.
I mean, even Cedric Diggory uses Postmates over Grubhub these days, right, Jack?
That's brutal.
Grubhub's market share is the size of a snitch. If you know, you know.
Still, Grubhub managed to hire George Clooney to make their biggest announcement ever at the Super Bowl on Sunday.
And here's the news. No fees on Grubhub for orders are $50 or more.
No delivery fee, no service fee, no fee if you spend at least $50 on food.
That policy, it started yesterday, and Grubhub says it is permanent. It is forever. No fees ever again.
And Grubhub says this will save you $13 on average in fees.
Now, critics didn't think much of this simple ad, but consumers just might.
Because fees are, and to quote one more CEO we've interviewed on the show, Nick, hated by consumers with a fiery passion. That's what Lyft CEO said.
We don't live in a democracy, Eddies. We live, unfortunately, in a theocracy.
But this big news from Grubhub begs the question. How are they going to make money if they don't charge fees?
Yeah, I mean, Jack, to continue our Harry Potter analogy, you know, you can't use magic on the financial statements, man. Like, you can't bring out the sorting hat to make the balance sheet balance.
Well, the CMO must have sipped some truth serum because she did an interview on Monday to discuss the Super Bowl ad, and she said that Grubhub won't make money. They're just eating the fees.
Yeah, with consumers not paying fees, they clarified that restaurants are not being charged either.
So how are they going to make money? They'll still take fees on orders under $50. That's it.
But other than that, it's going to be Grubhub banking on cross-selling to their other food business lines.
Grubhub actually got acquired last year by Wonder, and Wonder owns a basket of innovating food companies.
The OG Meal Kit Company.
And Spice.
The robot kitchen that Sweetgreen uses.
And Tastemade.
A food media company.
So their bet is the same as the bet that Robinhood made 10 years ago when they killed their big fee, stock trading commissions.
Drive new customer signups by eliminating a major fee and make money on the other things.
If Robinhood could break the business model of finance and thrive, can Grubhub break the business model of food?
We hope so. I mean, Hagrid's definitely ordering more than $50 worth of food tonight, Jack. So what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Grubhub?
Sometimes the most popular plan is also the most perilous one.
Now, Yetis, Jack and I sold our first startup to Robinhood back in 2018, and one of the reasons was we loved their democratizing message. It worked. It made sense.
Their democratizing message was popular for investors who got to avoid fees, and it was popular to publicly traded companies who got to grow their investor base.
Well, years later, it worked for Robinhood. They eliminated the hated commission fee in finance, but made $1 billion in revenue last quarter on other products.
Interestingly, Goldman Sachs tried to do the same thing with a product called Marcus, but that failed.
And Jack, democratizing didn't work for MoviePass either. $10 a month for unlimited movies, just too good to be true.
So this announcement could make Grubhub beloved by consumers and restaurants alike. It's the only delivery app that's not taking fees.
But it could make Grubhub hated by investors, leading to its financial demise.
Democratizing. It basically means eliminating fees. Popular, but it's a perilous path.
Surcharges Expelliarmus! Jack, could you whip up the takeaways for us for T-Boy Tuesday?
Nearly a quarter of the Super Bowl commercials either promoted AI or were produced by AI.
But when an industry floods the Super Bowl, it's historically a sell signal. Super Bowl, super bubble.
For our second story, Ferrari's electric car is not an iPhone on wheels. It's a Ferrari that happens to be electric.
And it's an early trend signal. This is the beginning of the end of the screen.
And our third and final story is Grubhub. They announced the end of fees. They're democratizing food delivery for all.
That's the most popular announcement that they could have made, but also the most perilous.
But besties, this pod's not over yet. Here's what else you need to know today.
First, McDonald's just got into caviar. That's right, the new product, McFish Eggs.
I'm glad they defined what caviar is in the description of the product.
Again, Jack, this is why we can't get into 11 Madison. You keep bringing up these caviar questions. It is a true story, only available today. And not just any caviar. They actually went top shelf over at McDonald's and got some imported sturgeon online only.
Just in time for Valentine's Day, as their press release says.
It's part of a trend that we noticed during the pandemic with famous chef Dave Chang, a high-low combo of McNuggets and caviar.
Second, Elon Musk greenlit his first ever TV commercial during the Super Bowl.
SpaceX ran a 30-second ad promoting their Starlink Wi-Fi service.
Another first for Elon, he's downgrading his company's ambitions.
Reportedly, Elon told investors that the new goal of SpaceX is not to go to the Mars first, it's to go to the moon first.
And finally, whip out your calendars, because next year's Super Bowl, it's gonna be awkward.
When is it, Jack?
Valentine's Day.
That's right. Super Bowl 61 in lovely Los Angeles is on February 14th, 2027.
So are we doing champagne and a candlelit dinner? Or are we doing chicken wings at Buffalo Wild Wings?
I don't know, Jack, but I do know what I'm going to be wearing. The only question is, what are we going to call this thing for this Super Bowl Valentine's?
Wait a minute, what are you gonna be wearing?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on the pod. The Cupid Bowl? The Heartbreak Bowl? Love and Lombardies? What do you think, Jack?
Let's just not call it encroachment in the neutral zone.
Yetis, either way, you 359 days to declare your priorities. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one an answer to yesterday's T-Boy trivia, which was asked by legendary Yeti Daniela Place.
What U.S. city has the most athletes on Team USA?
That's the question that was asked. What city has provided the most athletes to Team USA? Jack does not know the answer, and you ready for the answer, Jack?
Not Minneapolis, that was my guess.
That was close. Well, actually, it wasn't close. The answer, Park City, Utah, home of my bachelor party, where you got 11 athletes on Team USA, most of any city.
Honorable mention, Steamboat Springs, Colorado, which has almost 10% of the U.S. ski and snowboard roster.
Because if you don't ski in Steamboat, you don't live in Steamboat. Yetis, you're looking fantastic today. Jack, you are glowing today, and since we've run out of Harry Potter analogies, I think we technically have to end the show right now.
You've run out of Harry Potter analogies.
Yetis, you're looking fantastic. If you haven't yet, tap to follow us. There is a plus sign on Spotify, and
Somebody didn't get outstanding on his OWLs this term.
if you know us, you know us. And before we go, a congratulations and a welcome back and happy 32nd birthday to legendary Yeti Lily Mintz, back from maternity leave, and congrats to her little baby Zev as well.
Happy 35th birthday to Sindhura Trindandapani, who's turning 35 in Texas.
And a happy birthday to Sarah Owens down in San Antonio.
Happy 24th birthday to Samantha Berber in Detroit, Michigan.
And Olivia Bactiel, enjoy the birthday celebration down in Philadelphia, and thanks for 7 years of being a Yeti.
And congratulations to Alexis and Joe, who just had an IBO, initial baby offering.
The baby, Kaios Agiros Joseph Neumann. And if you're curious, yes, the parents are metallurgists, so the name means silver and gold in Greek and Latin. This baby already owns the periodic table.
Congratulations to Hannah Damish, who just got into the University of Michigan's Ross School of Business. Go Blue.
And Judy, congrats on taking your first Waymo ride to Trader Joe's. Glad you were enjoying T-Boy on the way.
And a big shout out to the personal protection team at Medline, who all realized they're Yetis at the same time. Emma, Miranda, Caitlin in Chicago. Unbelievable. Yetis around the world.
These product managers, they get you masks, they get you hospital gear, they do logistics.
And to anyone else who celebrated something today, make it a T-Boy.
Celebrate the wins.
This is Jack. I own stock of Amazon and Lyft. Nick and I both own stock of Apple and Robinhood, and we both own some Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, name Ben.